Hey there and welcome back to our series on how to create a mobile game. Last time we finally finished the gameplay. Time for some sounds. For this we first create a new folder, Sounds. And we drag our sounds in here. You find a download link in the description below. The sounds are from freesound.org. You can find other sounds for your needs there as well. But be careful. When you want to loop something, always save the sound file as .ogg, because otherwise the loop is not correct. Now we need to take control of our sounds. For this we create a new folder under scripts called Sounds. To distinguish the types of the sounds, we create an enum sound effects. You already know enums from the fruit types. We create one sound effect for catch, one for the theme, one for game over, and one for the level change. To control the audio file, we also need a new script, AudioController. This one don't need to be derived from the mono behavior, so we can delete all this. But the whole class has to be serializable, so we add that here. Now we need a bunch of variables, because we want this controller to be very flexible. So first, we add our created enum sound effects to know which sound effect this controller should be. After that, we make a public float value for our volume. Then, we need a variable for our audio clip. We also need two bool variables, one to set if the audio should be looped, and one to check if we should do some pitch variation. I will explain that more later. But first, let's just say we need two more variables. One low pitch range and one for the high pitch range. We can make them read-only because we don't change them. So, we also need another public bool, soundActive, which should be public get but only private set. For this one, we can directly make a set method, set soundActive. After that, we create a method to get the random pitch as well. We can do this with Unity's random.range and pass in our two range variables. Now we create a most important method, playSound. Here we first check if soundActive is already active. Otherwise, we leave right away. If the sound is active, we need to assign our clip to an object which will be our audio source. You can think of a speaker for this. The source.clip should be our clip. And if we have a pitch variation, we assign source.pitch to the result of our random method. For the loop variable, we can just assign loop to source.loop. Finally, we have to tell the source to play. And because every loop should have an end, we create another method to stop the sound. And because I like things organized, we put public methods to the top and private methods to the bottom. The controller is done. Time for a new manager, the AudioManager. We create this as usual with our singleton pattern. Because we want to control our controllers, we make a public list of audio controllers first. Then we create a soundActive variable as well as in our controller. We also create an audio enable key because we want that the player can decide to mute or not. So we set the soundActive with the player prefabs getInAudio key. If the key doesn't exist, the default value is 1. Now we have to add an audio source for every controller. So you can think about 4 speakers under our AudioManager. In the real world, we would just need 2, because we just want the theme and one other effect at the same time. But we keep it simple here. We also pass the current soundActive value down to our controllers and start playing the theme after all. To do this, we create a new public method playSound with the quick fixes. We change the input to effect and check the sound active again because this is a public method. Now we have to find the right controller for our sound effect. And after that, we can tell the controller to play the sound. Again, we create a new method with the quick fixes. And using the built-in method find to find the controller in our list with the right effect. And because everything should have an end, the manager also needs a method to stop all sounds. Here we can just go through the list and call stop sound on every controller. That's it for now. Back in Unity, we now see a list in our AudioManager. And because we have 4 effects, we set the size to 4. And we can add our audio file fruit catch to the first element with enum catch. We can adjust the volume for this sound clip right here. For the catch, I set it to something like 0.5. I also activate pitch variation here. Now I see we have the audio source here as well, but we add this with our AudioManager, so we can hide it in the inspector. We do this in the AudioController with the tag hide in inspector. We can now drag the other audio files into our list. I set all effects to pitch variation. And finally the theme to loop, because it should play continuously. Last thing we have to do is call our sounds at the right moment. We already call our theme at the awake method of our AudioManager. So we can go to our GameOver script and call the AudioManager.instance.playSound with the sound effect GameOver. After that, we go to the level manager and call our level change sound at level start. And our catch sound in the method fruit catch. Back in Unity, when we enter the play mode, our theme will start right away and the level change sound comes with our fruit. And when we change the state to game over, the game over sound comes. So everything is fine. But I still owe you an explanation about pitching. Let me show you this with the theme. When I drag the pitching up and down, the theme becomes higher and deeper. And we do this a bit randomized for our other effects to get more variation to our sounds. Try it on your own by playing with the low and high pitch value. So I hope you learned something new today. Subscribe to watch the full series and I'm sure I see you in the next.